From the Fox Studios in New York City, this is Maria Bartiromo's Wall Street.
And happy weekend to all. Welcome to the program that analyzes the week that was and helps position you for the week ahead. I'm Maria Bartiromo. A Senate showdown over border security ending in a major victory for the president's immigration agenda, with the battle now shifting to the House. After an 18-hour Senate marathon and despite unanimous Democrat opposition, Republican lawmakers were able to approve nearly $70 billion for ICE and Customs and Border Protection on Friday. One of the most contentious moments of the vote-a-rama came when several GOP senators broke ranks to support a plan that would have diverted money from the controversial anti-weaponization fund to families of fallen law enforcement officers. The amendment ultimately failed, but the funding bill passed, and now the fight heads to the House. Joining me now to talk more about that is House Budget Committee member, Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. When would you expect the House to take up the bill, and when would you expect it to reach the president's desk for signage?
Well, I hope that the House will, and I expect that the House will take up the bill the first of next week. As soon as we get back, we should take it up, and I think it'll pass. And I'll go directly to the president's desk, and I'm sure he will sign it immediately.
Yeah, so what is next? Do you now look toward a potential third reconciliation package? Do you think that's even doable before the midterms?
I think it's going to be a heavy lift, but I do hope that we make that attempt to do it because it needs to be done. We are in the appropriation process now for the next fiscal year, but that's no reason why we can't do a reconciliation 3.0. And again, I hope we do it because there are a number of things we need to be addressing in that, not the least of which are healthcare issues. And if we can lower drug prices, that would help Americans tremendously. You know, at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want affordable, accessible, quality health care. And if we can achieve that through some of our policies, through the appropriations process, then I think that it serves America well.
Yeah, I mean, that would be good. But look, there's also fraud to contend with. I mean, the Trump administration rooting out more taxpayer fraud and abuse across the country. Take a look at these numbers. The DOJ is cracking down in Ohio, targeting an alleged $30 million Medicaid fraud scheme for kids, as the FBI launches its new list of, quote, most wanted fraudsters across the country, promising to track down these criminals. Watch.
It's pretty simple. We follow the money. We follow all the money. And thanks to President Trump's brilliant vision to decimate fraud across the country that has been fleecing Americans and our kids and our senior citizens for far too long, law enforcement finally has the backing to deliver. This administration has made it abundantly clear there is no distance we won't travel to make sure we apprehend each and every one of these individuals.
So what about that, Congressman? House Republicans are passing an anti-fraud bill this week targeting child care and ensuring financial assistance reaches the working families that really need it. Here's that. Watch.
We're continuing to pass legislation to make sure your tax dollars are well spent, and those who abuse your tax dollars are actually held accountable, because Republicans know how hard you work for those tax dollars. Every single Democrat has consistently voted against legislation to protect your dollars.
Congressman, your reaction?
I look forward to voting for this bill that's going to be before the House. There are a number of things here, Maria, that we need to keep in mind. First of all, we need to do a better job in the federal government of putting in policies and procedures that can stop this before it gets this far. When you hear about 112 hospices at one address in L.A., there's no reason that should have happened. The second time the duplicate address came up, it should have been kicked out. Secondly, we've got to have states be more responsible. They've got to have more accountability. We're sending them this money to disperse and to use, and they need to have more accountability. Thirdly, I tell you, the taxpayers are sick and tired of this. They want to see people go to jail. They want to see people in handcuffs. They have had enough of this.
Yeah, you're right. All really important points. So as the midterm campaigns are heating up, how will you push the messaging on all of this going into the midterms?
Well, I think we will message it just as what you just heard, and that is that we are protecting taxpayers' money. We know that this is hard-earned taxpayers' money that we have the responsibility over, and we've got to make sure that it's going to the people that it's needed to go to. Keep in mind, as I said earlier, when an example was Minnesota. That was not discovered by the federal government, discovered by an independent journalist. We've got to do a better job than that. And we can do a better job, but we need to make sure that the most vulnerable in our society are getting the services that they need.
Meanwhile, there's a real war on energy from the left. You and more than 70 other GOP lawmakers asking the Supreme Court to side with ExxonMobil and Suncor and reject a Colorado County's climate change lawsuit against them. Tell us why this is important to you. I know that the EPA has been reversing all of this climate change agenda, but you've got this lawsuit here and a war on American energy.
And this is nothing more than radical activists trying to use the court system to achieve what they could not achieve legislatively and to set energy policy. That is the responsibility of Congress, and we have done that. Through the president's leadership, we've unleashed American energy. If we let this happen, if the courts let this happen, then it's going to raise energy prices, and even more than they are now. Thank goodness the president has taken a policy of just unleashing American energy. That has helped to bring prices to bring prices down. Now they're up. Yes, we understand that because of the war. But let me assure you, as soon as this war is over, and it will be over soon, then these prices are going to go back down.
So you do agree with the president that once we're out of this conflict, we'll see a tumbling of these prices?
No question about it. If you'll remember when we had a temporary ceasefire and the price per barrel of oil went down to about $80 a barrel, that brought prices down. This will be over. This conflict will be over soon. But I applaud the president for what he's doing because we cannot allow Iran to have a nuclear bomb.
Yeah. All right. We will leave it there. Congressman, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks so much.